We thought it was time to bring back just a few of the most listened to episodes from the last 12 months, the Best Of series. And even if you've already heard an episode, you will have changed and grown since it was released. And things you missed back then will catch your attention. And I know that's true because that happens to me all the time. Books, podcasts, videos. It blows your mind the things that you didn't catch the first time through. And we started off last week with episode 1, the very first one, where I share my story, raw and real, that I kept secret for 20 plus years, and the thing that held everything I did or tried to do hostage. So you're here because something in your life or your business just isn't working for you. And maybe you're in survival mode, just barely getting by, living paycheck to paycheck. Maybe you're in a job or a career or business that's leaving on empty, depleted, uninspired, or maybe you're starting a new exciting thing and you've discovered that you're actually already struggling to move forward. I've got your back. Welcome if you're a brand new listener or one of our loving fans. Got your favorite drink ready, you got your earbuds in, and you're nestled in your quiet spot. I heard all the yeses, so buckle up, take a deep breath, and join me in a conversation about jumpstarting your life or your business and breaking free of your shackles and create the life that you really want. You're listening to the Unshackle Your Life podcast with Debbie Colburn, and each week we talk all things money, business, personal growth, and we dive deep, exploring the hundreds of things that shackle us unconsciously from our own true potential. And you'll discover tips and tactics to start unlocking your shackles and release an extraordinary life. Thanks for spending time with me today, and let's dive right in. If you've ever been involved in a wedding, you know without a doubt that most are stress on steroids. Yeah, there's tons and tons and tons of love, and it's a beautiful, happy time, sometimes mired with judgment. Things like, that's not right, it's not in the right place, it's the wrong color, he's late, anything that could possibly be judged gets judged. And yet it's a beautiful event. It's a meld of two people to make something even more beautiful. And if you've been asked to, or volunteered, or voluntold as they say, to help, no doubt you've felt an undercurrent of that stress or anxiety and or worry, not just by the bride and the groom, but in yourself. Now, choosing to live in those states is always a choice by every single person. And if you're not the one getting married, that celebration may not exactly fit into your life. Inconvenient date, extra financial pressure, the time commitment, short notice, and if you're being totally honest, it's not an ideal season in your life for this. Let's be real. It would be nigh impossible to have all the family and the friends sit down and come up with a perfect date. And really, it's not your date. It's theirs. Now, stay with me because I'm not going to be talking about weddings today, but I'm just kind of helping you set a scene. A wedding might not be your scenario. And I'm betting if you're really honest, I'm bang on. If you think about any really big event in your family circle. But a wedding was mine recently. Wedding number 3. And I only have 2 amazing kids. Now don't worry. There's a point to getting you to think about that. I remember carefully opening that special gift from my father. And in it was a plain piece of paper, lovingly put together, sealed in a special envelope with the offer of a couple of hours of his help, his handyman builder expertise. valid for 1 year, signed with his unique, irreplaceable signature to make it official. It was the most amazing gift. And one we got the next year as well, but with a caveat that they can't be combined with someone else's. See, I have some very creative siblings. You see, for me, asking for help isn't easy. And in fact, I was just talking with a group of people in a group that gets together every week, and that's common. For some people, asking for help is almost a crutch they can't live without. Now that's not me, but like everything, there are always at least two perspectives. For me, not asking for help was an internal sign of strength. Yet over and over, that inability to ask for help proved to be the critical flaw in my plans that made projects I undertook fall short of their possibilities. Sure, those projects were a raving success, they were celebrated, but they always had this flaw. And that was always thrown back on me, on my unwillingness to ask for help, on my willingness to DIY stuff myself, craft together something cheaper using the currency of my sweat equity. It always ended up being a panic, running 24/7 to get it finished, and sometimes it didn't even get finished. It worked, but it wasn't finished. Can you see the tiny hint of those money blocks I've spoken about before? Cheap, used, not enough. Most times the morning of an event, I hadn't even had the time to shower, and I'm embarrassed to even share that. The flaw was my belief that I can do anything. Now don't take that the wrong way. I do believe that I can do anything with the right tools and the right training and the right mindset, as do so many strong creators, innovators, and visionaries, as you can do. But we can create bigger, we can create better, and we can create stronger with a team. Some people confuse the inability to ask for help with the desire to control. You know, what they call control freak. And honestly, I've been called that. And I am definitely not that. I want nothing more than to do less, to achieve more, to simply be the idea generator and the guide. But my identity, that superwoman identity, you know, you've heard me talk about that before, that I created, fights me on that. Believe me, I'm not delusional. Inside, I always know 100% that I needed an extra hand or 3 or 4. And when I do ask, more often than not, I've delayed the ask till it's too late, when I'm sure that no one can possibly help out. Can you say sabotage? Asking for help and offering help, I believe, are intricately linked. Recently, I've been doing some observations of the 5 love languages, one of which is acts of service. That is mine. I don't know whether you know anything about this, but there's an amazing little book out there. I'll put it in the show notes, the link, but there's 5 of them. It's the thing, acts of service is the thing that gives me the most joy. Being able to do something for someone, like touch-up gardening for my mother, helping people move stuff. I have a training partner who I've helped her move 3 times now. Ad hoc coaching, creating a PDF for someone, a quote image in Canva, helping out at the last minute. And remember that Christmas gift from my dad? The one where he was gifting us his time to do something for us? He was gifting an act of service to me. And that's why I remember this gift over most others, other than the ski boots and the skis and the scavenger hunt to try and find them. And his love language is gifts, gift giving. And it's never about monetary value, it's about that act of gifting. Not giving, gifting. And yet in my life, receiving acts of service has been in a drought for a long time. It's like the fuel of my inner me is depleted. And I truly believe that it's, like I've said before, they're intricately linked. I believe that they're linked through the law of reciprocity. When I give acts of service, at some point in time, someone will return that. Not because they have to, but because they want to. A person who loves to receive help with a strong wall self-built around them that repels help. Wow! Like really. And maybe you're like me, a strong, sufficient person, independent, adventurous, open to uncertainty, a self-starter, but you're struggling. And maybe you've discovered that when you have asked for help, you've been drawn to someone who is an enabler, someone who's unable to say no. I'm not sure why this happened, but I'm guessing it has to do with a calculated outcome that ensured I wouldn't get turned down. Yeah? I fell into a habit of asking for help from an enabler. That I would get the help or assistance that I thought I needed and wanted. And that's what happened to me. Maybe it was my mom's inner longings and beliefs that made her my enabler. I just don't know why or how. But what I do know with 100% certainty is that I never wanted that. Any more than someone struggling to kick an addiction really wants the enabler to get them more stuff. None of us deliberately want to hurt ourselves, to set ourselves up, to fall flat on our faces. But for strong people who are resistant to asking for help, we also don't want enabling. Here's what I believe. I believe that we are simply out of ideas. We can't see beyond our existing thinking. We can't see any perspectives besides ours. Now there's a great quote that I repeatedly tell myself. The thinking that got you here won't get you there. We want a spark. We want a kick in the ass. Not what we're asking for, really. Like, believe me, and I think if you relate to any of this, if you sit back and think, you'll realize that that is in fact what you want. You just want someone to kick you squarely in the ass and light a fire underneath you, or inside you even better. In an attempt to balance our lives, to fill that depleted tank, we can find ourselves offering ourselves out, offering help to others, and being turned down. I think, again, because it's a two-way street. When we're not open to receiving, we shut down or we crimp or we put some sort of interrupter in the opportunity to have our offers of help accepted openly. And because we've only allowed others to see that strong, powerful identity and that powerful persona, it scares the shit out of most people. Seriously, it does. And that hurts. Especially if it's all you have to offer. There isn't yet a surplus of money in your bank account, or even a cushion maybe Maybe it's even in the red. There aren't connections or favors you can call in or enact or act on your behalf. Or maybe you're afraid to ask for those ones. Your assistance is all you have to offer to help solve what is very apparently causing a massive amount of stress to someone. Your help could change the tides. And that simple act of offering help is turned back on you. It's used as a weapon. And that was my recent experience with my son's second wedding. And I'm sure that there are some of you out there that can 100% relate to this. There's a term, you hear people use it, the best intentions. No matter what I offered, no matter what I tried, it was not right for the bride-to-be. And it hurt. I took it personally. And yet instinctively, I knew there was more to this. And a year later, it became very clear that my inner guidance system was on point. And that's a whole other story that maybe we'll talk about down the road. But here's the thing. When you are faced with being repeatedly rejected, your inner you can start to get cocky and think that you can only do things, that the only way is to do them for yourself. When you get gun-shy asking for help, you can start to blur the lines of right and wrong. Cross that ethical line because, only you can do things yourself and only you know how to solve this problem. Or else it's a nasty, fatal loop if you can't interrupt it. And that was the through line of my life that I can see looking back. The pivotal point in my life, the decision to cross that line that once crossed can never be taken back. The day I decided that there was only one way that I could prove that I was as talented in a race car as all my friends and co-members in the sports car world said I was. I simply didn't see any way to ask for help. So I helped myself. Literally. Life is a crazy, funny, adventurous, up and down ride as we learn about ourselves. None of us is perfect. Our best us is a result of the inputs and the ideas and the perspectives of others, both their words and their acts of service. Like I hope this podcast is for you. So we've come to the end where I'll ask you one thing. And as I know a lot of you, if you're new to my world, will do, you'll roll your eyes and you'll leave it untouched until that one day when you can no longer ignore it. What is the worst thing that could happen if you unlock just one of your shackles today? Hey guys, if you found this podcast helpful and think it could help someone else, please send them the link. It's in the show notes. And then drop a review in wherever you're listening. And then come on back and hang with us some more. Let us help you keep moving forward. We're simple to find on the interwebs. MS Debbie Colburn, that's MS Debbie with an IE, Colburn with an OUR squished between the B and the N on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and yes, on our website. See y'all next episode.